Keep the comments in, and yeah, I think the whole desk has NRG. We'll see if the commentators feel any different. But let's get into it. It's NRG versus Ghost, the second match of the day. Best of 5 as league play continues. With the commentary is Shogun and Lawler. Take it away, guys.
Can Ghost give NRG a scare is exactly what Axeltosh should have gone for.
Well played already.
It's obvious here. I work around Cole. These sort of things are just going to be natural at this point in time. But we do have the current undefeated North American champions taking on the debuting Ghost squad, who, in the run-up to this, their preseason wasn't great. Then they came in during our qualifying week. Obviously, they got through there. What are you expecting to see from them this week? It's
going to be difficult for them. Obviously, they just need to get their foot in the door. I mean, you saw FlyQuest just a little bit ago try to do the same thing against Rogue, and they started the right way. They got in aggressive, they put pressure on, and overwhelming pressure, too. Like, even though there was a lot of defensive mistakes, you still have to give credit for FlyQuest with the amount of shots that they put on net to force those saves in the first place. So, as long as Ghost can do that, and a lot of it is going to have to do with the back of Classics. Classics has been a player that has been relatively quiet as well in the sense of similarity to Sad Jr., but someone on that team really needs to step up and help out Lethmir. Lethmir, like Gibbs had said, playing out of his mind this offseason, trying to find a team. This is the one that he settles with, and if he's feeling comfortable with it, you just got to rely on their team chemistry. Well, a lot from what we've seen from North America so far has been that 2-1 style of rotation. We see it from a lot of teams, NRG included. How do you see it going for Ghost Gaming? Because obviously we're saying, all right, Lethmir's up there, but you cannot go for a two-man defense. I'm saying Zanejackie on this because we saw him last season with Take 3. He was very quiet, but he was at the back. Right. Where I've seen him pretty much every single time I've watched him play. I don't see it being any different. So the question there would become, can Classics move forward and become that help for Lethmir with the assists? I mean, it's going to be the big question mark of it, and hopefully they'll answer that for us here. Obviously, it's only 1 week of play, and we're going to see that develop throughout the season. But like, just as an overall, someone on that team has to step up. I don't care if it's Classics. I don't care if it's Zanejackie. Just one of those two needs to help out Lethmir, because Lethmir is notoriously a player that doesn't matter where he's on the pitch, he will make things happen for the team. So. Yeah, but those individual plays are not going to happen. We're going to have this game up for you soon, guys. Just sorting things out is the... We want things to be perfect. I think the professional way of saying it. Yeah. We're fixing it, okay? We're fixing. I don't see you in chat, but I know what you're saying. We are fixing the problem. Stop laughing. Don't yell at them, man. Don't yell at them. They're fragile. It's okay. They're trying. They're trying. Well, if you want to talk about fragile, I'm actually really worried for Ghost here. NRG is a team that undeniably has the best defense in North America. And they do it in the sense of applying really good offense. I want to bring up a little stat for that, which was overall for NRG. They actually got more saves last week on average than Set to Destroy were last season. And Set to Destroy, notorious last season for pretty one-minded, one-dimensional gameplay of, we're back. NRG did that. They topped that amount of saves out of necessity to go on for the win, which they did take across 2 different series. Jacob, it's big crazy. In that defense. It's crazy because just the simple differences that we saw in their play too. Like for Fireburner to dribble the way that he did, like the difference in style between these guys and how they were playing all around was just, it wasn't something that was characteristic. Like NRG's strength is in their team play. The ability to rely on their teammates, to have Garrett be that last-ditch effort if they need him, and they didn't do that. They really broke down and played in a more individual style of gameplay, and it showed in that stat. Like, for them to have to make that many saves is just weird. Normally, stats are one thing. Let's actually show them exactly what we're talking about here. Here are some of the highlights of NRG playing last week, and it's just exactly what they needed to do every single time. It's that pressure that they've got so used to doing, and something that's going to become more and more frequent now that these teams are forced to play with each other for longer periods of time, of just getting to know exactly where everyone is that little bit more. Well, the crazy thing, too, was this first match against Emotion. Emotion came out screaming. Obviously, they're now known as Allegiance, so we won't see that name as much anymore, but I think this is the series that we saw the 11 goals in the one game or whatever it was, the tying for the record, but it was unbelievable for them to just trade back and forth when normally they just shut that down in the first place. So certainly was. I mean, that's 6 goals for Allegiance, as they are now called. Was a record until Rogue brought themselves in earlier and also picked themselves up 6 goals. But we are now going to get ourselves into this game. Can NRG hold on to their steadfast record, or will the debuting Ghost team
has got plenty of questions surrounding this roster, being able to step up and take down the North American champions. He's going to try passing it straight into the middle from the off. Going to be using these first few games, just look around and see what exactly Ghost to be trying, who is in what position, and how exactly they plan on breaking down that NRG defense. As Garrett gets contact, but that is going to go straight into the sidewall. Ghost just taking their time in defense at the moment, putting everyone back, not wanting to go for overcommits. And they've got a very weird schedule to Ghost. Starting off this week, their first game, this is going to be their only game this week as well, so there are going to be some teams finishing today with 4 games played, NRG included. They're going to have 1. Then they get into next week where they've got Cloud9 and Allegiance waiting. So that's not the easiest start to their season.
No, and those are kind of the ones that you obviously want to start and build up into. But for them, obviously, they have to come out, make a statement early on. The benefit, though, is that they did kind of form that team late on before play-ins. So not too many teams have gotten the chance to play against them. Obviously, all this team full of veterans. Just a matter of making their impact known.
Well, that could go the entire way. Zanejackie looking for the pass, but Lefmir roughed up by Garrett. Not allowing the shot to come in. Zanejackie's still upfield, as Classics could not find the arcing part of that wall for the pass into the middle. And now NRG going to have the opportunity to try and turn this around. But once again, midfield, very good. Lefmir, pass over to Classics, and that is an opportunity gone to waste.
Yeah, just like you stated, that pass needed to be nice and soft. Just a quick little chip up to his teammate to apply a shot, but NRG immediately back down to the other side of the field. But even them, some of those touches just seem to be uphill.
Zanejackie now taking control. A lot more offensive than I expected from him so far to start this game. Now Classic's going to come forward. As Fireburner just gets enough contact to delay and prevent that backboard attempt. More shots coming in. Garrett's going to be forced to go for the save. But Ghost are pressing. They've had the majority of the pressure to start off this game, as we have just hit the halfway point.
Well, that's exactly what they need to do. They need to apply this pressure to NRG, keep them on back in an uncomfortable position. But unfortunately, when they do that, they're leaving their net wide open.
No, they're not. This is called the Jacob special.
I didn't even see it. Okay, that's 2 bumps, and that's just mean, Jacob. That's not okay.
I think he was watching Bluey last week and said, okay, I can't go for an aerial version of it this time, but you know what, I'm just going to keep smacking you until you're just not around anymore.
I mean, the situation of that, too, like, it completely puts Jacob out of the play, but if he's going to take one with him, it just turns into a 2v2, so it doesn't matter. It's fine.
It's going to be a demo over into the side, but Zanejackie's takeout of Fireburner will not be followed up by a goal. Trying to trade fire with fire. But that previous goal just proving that Rocket League is not necessarily about the amount of goal attempts you have. It's about the quality of the play that you bring out when you have got possession of that ball. Or in Jacob's case, what you can do when you're off it. Zanejackie passed 2 players. And Jacob has not been too convincing with that. Lefmir can now come in, puts it off the backboard. But Classic, such a hard angle for him to take the shot from. Kind of surprised they didn't have anyone on that 3rd rotation ready to come in for the shot.
Well, makes it difficult when you got 2 players double committing there.
Jacob's still on that side wall, time ticking away. Fireburner with the shot, and Zanejackie and Lefmir will be happy to see that just go to the side. Some more demo attempts are coming out. That's actually going to leave the majority of Ghost on low boost. But the demo on Garrett as well will slow down the rotation on the side of Ghost. Shot comes in to go off that crossbar. Ghost need to get rid of this. They need to put forward some sort of offense. Stuff like that is just handing the ball back to Jacob. Only really one solid opportunity so far from Ghost, and that was that passing play that he just couldn't quite execute.
Well, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but there's a chip back up to the player aerialing in for Ghost. If it would have hit Lefmir on his way down, it would have been a beautiful play. Reminiscent of, I think it was the Season 2 LAN with Jacob and Sad. So they had that weird bounce up and it passed up back to Jacob and in.
It was awkward, yes. I can remember that one. That's going to go on that middle line. Garrett will be happy to see that one cleared away. Going to try and take it the entire length of the pitch. Fireburner puts that one up high. And if that went in, that would have signaled the end of game number 1. as Ghost have to try and put this down to the upper end. Garrett will happily sit on that goal line. No reason to overcommit now for NRG. Those bumps are going to remove a player from the ball. But it's now or never, and that is going to go towards the floor. It is going to be never. NRG taking game number 1.
A lot of aggression in this game, despite people feeling out the pace or the pitch. Like, for the entire situation, it wasn't really anything that was formulated. There was no real concise, like, hey, we're going to pass to people in open space. We're going to make clear-cut decisions. It was pretty sloppy all around, but all it takes is one, like you said. Jacob just taking advantage of whatever that situation was, bumping him completely off. And it's also cool that he didn't demo him. I mean, he completely removed him from the play. In demos, obviously, you get the chance to reset, but even still, that net was wide open.
Absolutely was, and it is just that one little play that ends up giving the opening win to NRG. But for Ghost, I was actually somewhat impressed by that game. It seems like the formula that they're going for, the rotation is solid. Now we need to see some passing plays come from them, because they tried one, it almost worked, and then straight after that, we didn't really see it again.
Yeah, we haven't really seen too much follow-up. Obviously, they get the initial play downfield, they go for the first shot, and then they all retreat. Rightfully so in some circumstances, because NRG's counterattack is very dangerous, and that's okay. Obviously, this is a best-of-5. They do have a couple opportunities. You don't want to give away those easy games, but for them to kind of get the feeling of, okay, we can apply the pressure, now we just have to be able to take that extra risk and keep that pressure going, is something that we'll hopefully see in this game number 2.
Well, we are going to get into game number 2. Very little told to us throughout game number 1. It's going to be an opportunity for both of these teams to really build, as I'm sure both of them will think that they can do better. Zainjaki automatically trying to go for that challenge. As Ghost, relentless to start us off, but that is a poor touch from Classics. It's actually opened up Garrett, who can play off the side. Jacob wanted to go for bumps. I think Zainjaki saw that as well, decided to put himself onto the wall to try and avoid it. So much harder to get those demos once a player is up there. Like, so much harder in general. So Lefemir taking his time. Ghost still have got opportunities. Classics puts that one down. Will there be a follow-up? No, Zainjaki decides to pull out, not wanting to put 2 players forward. But for you, Lawler, opportunities like that, is that worth going forward against a team like NRG?
I mean, it's difficult as well. That touch from Classics altogether was just interesting for him to play that straight up so it would shoot down, but a wide open net in favor of Ghost. They're on the board.
And I think throughout every single player on this pitch, there is going to be no one more happy to see that goal go in than Lefemir, part of that squad last season that was defeated in a clean sweep by NRG. So he's going to be able to avoid that this time around. As Ghost take the lead. Here comes a shot from Fireburner off that top part of the goal. As Ghost will now try and consolidate their lead. Those passing plays coming out from NRG. They just need someone to try and target it towards now. Over onto the side, Lefemir pushing that across. Siege starting to be built up. Jacob can move himself forward, but Classics will get there in time. Looking for that backboard. They finally found it, but 2 players are committed, so that does leave a dilemma for Fireburner, and he chooses not to go in. The ball is constantly being left somewhat open. It's a constant chase towards it right now, as Classics will be left by himself. Chooses to go on the wall. He has been beat to it, and that is going to be Jacob dropping it straight down, but goes off the crossbar twice. NRG still looking for it. There is a 3rd time off the crossbar. And Ghost Gaming have survived the slurry, the onslaught from NRG.
I mean, they're really only clear from Ghost is due to a mistake or a contest coming from Fireburner on his rotate out. He made a touch and it passed it back inside, but other than that, Ghost had 3 clears into the wall and all 3 met by NRG to put right back into that siege. As trying to get it out of the way, a touch back off the crossbar from Garrett G. Plays it down for Ghost. Goes up by 2.
Yeah, I'm surprised Garrett left that as long as he did. Didn't move forward for the challenge on Lefemir. A notoriously difficult 1v1 player to go against is Lefemir. Gets that off the top part and will be followed up. So, 2 goals now to the advantage is Ghost Gaming against the North American champions. They just need to finish this off, but there is still plenty of time left in this game, coming up to 2 minutes 35. NRG, though, they are looking sloppy right now, and that is going to be a double commit. Jacob is going to be happy to get there in time, though. Back in the breakout this week. Seems like we don't see any team quite changing cars around as much as NRG do.
It happens when you have someone as unconventional as Jacob in your playlist. Obviously, Fireburner and Cooks have both been struggling a little bit with that Batmobile. But pass play back inside, a shot on net forces Classics to go up and make a save.
Gonna go the long distance. Fireburner has got to do something with this. He has committed. He has missed as well. Leftmere has got an opportunity. Pulls one player out, but Jacob gets enough contact. But he's gonna now move it down to the other end. Takes it past one. Leftmere shuts the door down. And Ghost Gaming will hold on to their 2-goal lead despite having to scramble back.
I'm sure Classics is really happy about that one too. He was in net, almost afraid of that shot with those two aggressing. But the ability to move on his way back, Leftmere takes him out of that situation. Has another shot from Leftmere, saved by Jacob.
Now Fireburner looking to go the other way. He gets the block, and Fireburner takes his gimmick of being able to win any challenge and uses it to score a deflected goal.
A prime example of the Fireburner 90-10. Just does not lose 50-50s. They're almost always in his favor, but the spacing he gave on that, he read that perfectly. He let the ball go in front of his car. He backed off just a little bit. So when he got that second touch, it rocketed back into the net. Heads up play from Fireburner.
As their first series as a team, can Ghost now deal with the nerves that will come with this situation? They have got to hold on to this 1-goal lead. With less than 70 seconds left to play. Zainjack is going to try and take himself down, and he has stole the boost away from Garrett. Completely ruining the play. Fireburner taking out Zainjack. If he left him, can keep moving. Bounced up too high for him to get to. Do not want to overcommit that, but that will be a 2-goal lead regained.
A lot of it has to do with that initial touch from Leftmere. I don't think anybody expected it to pop that high. You saw this team, this entire team of NRG falling back into defense, just not ready for that aggression. Catching them off guard, and then a shot just across net from Zainjaki. Good placement.
Falling back and falling into each other. NRG will happily, off the kickoff, put us back within 1 goal.
A lot of it does have to do with Fireburner here. The 50-50 coming off, not wasting any time. He actually goes up the wall to give himself a little bit extra elevation. Rather than standing on the ground and aerialing for it, comes off the wall and just puts a beauty of a shot on net.
And from a comfortable game to a chaotic game, Ghost need to hold on. That is going to be 2 players committed. Garrett has got a goal to aim at, and it is an atrocious shot.
For seeing Garrett missing that shot, that's another one where his touches just haven't been right on, as Fireburner's going to win it. No! Garrett not able to find it, the save from Classics again.
Jacob puts that one long. Classics is going to be the last player back. Last 25 seconds remaining. Can try and get the block. Fireburner pushing that up the wall. Not going to be able to find Garrett with it, who has got the opportunity now to rotate in. Down to the middle, but Jacob knows it better than to move forward for that. NRG will have one last throw off the dice. Here comes the shot from Jacob. Puts it towards the near side, and that is going to be another floating shot. Ghost Gaming now just need to put this back onto the floor, and they will. We are all tied up.
Ghost Gaming able to hold it off. It looked like it was slowly starting to sway of NRG's favor. But for them to stop those last couple of saves and push it downfield. Good effort from Ghost, tying it back up in the series.
Was Classic's name always in all caps?
Nope.
Is that just changed?
Yep.
Okay, well, whatever works for you, I suggest, or suppose.
He's trying to make an impact in a whole different way.
He is aware that your name is always just in all caps whenever you're in game.
It's you know, it's a personal
it's for
thing.
him.
Yeah, he's trying to boost himself up. He's trying to, you know, encourage himself. He's like, Classics, yeah!
Well, it worked.
Like,
He got himself 2 goals, 2 saves, 4 shots. That's not a bad...
It's working, man. New meta.
New
all
meta.
caps name.
But 3 goals to 2. Ghost Gaming coming up big in that game. NRG, though, still looking sloppy, missing their opportunities that they have built so well for themselves. It needs to be more clinical.
Yeah, usually something that we don't see, the mistakes from NRG, and they have the means to make those plays happen. I talked about it a little bit ago. You mentioned they started a siege going on. As soon as the ball was played to the outside or trying to be brought up the wall from Ghost's defense, there was someone on NRG within the vicinity that was able to go up and contest it. And they won every single one, 3 in a row. But Ghost was able to push it out. It's like they were spending all that energy, like their rotations weren't as clean as normal. Like, after those 50-50s happened and they won them, there was no one in position after that to follow up. They were just spending that last man in rotation to make sure the ball stayed on the other side. So something's going on where they're not able to get that aggression to continue, which is the unconventional part of NRG. Normally there is someone always there to follow up.
Ghost is going to try and drag NRG into the depths of this series. Will the experience of a long-formed team be able to pay off? Garrett puts that one to the side, but Classics can rotate across just in time. Garrett yet again takes his second shot, but Lefmir shot was basically directly at him. Zainjaki will happily put that one over to Classics. Garrett is covering that one just in time. It seems like those long balls are not working for either team. So every single time they look for the backboard, it has been covered. Garrett could not get to that one in time, though, and Fireburner has to try and take that away from Classics, who can try and go for the block. Not quite working, though. Going towards the end of our opening minute. And this first goal could be absolutely crucial for whoever gets it. As Ghost looking to continue the momentum. Classics using his momentum to completely clear Jacob off the face of the pitch.
Really good decision as well. NRG was getting ready to start their counterattack, but to completely stop the rotation altogether, take out that front man, and possession falls back in favor of Ghost.
Another long ball. That will be reclaimed by Ghost. So they are leaving people in the middle of the field, and Zainjaki with a bullet.
For him to stay upfield, as soon as Lethemir takes that touch, he doubles back, and then the placement. You see Garrett G coming across, he hits a Bardowski and in. Very difficult save and great placement from Zainjaki. We talked about needing someone on this team to get involved, help out Lethemir. Both Classics and Zain are doing that, just not at the same time. If we get this cohesion going, they're going to be someone to be afraid of.
I love that swap from Ghost Gaming as well. Recognizing that NRG had read that they were trying to go for that backboard, instead playing it towards Zainjaki, towards the middle. And it's a type of play that if you don't get it pulled off the first time, NRG are going to be able to start reading that and know what you're going for. Start challenging it more and more often, but worked out the first time of asking. And now Ghost Gaming, 1 goal up. Zainjaki with a win there. 2 players committed from Ghost. Zainjaki's going to hold himself around. He's got very little boost though, but he has managed to make something out of it. Starting to press their opponents towards their own half, but that one whiff will force Classics to come in. He has been beat though by Garrett G. Fireburner now off that backboard. Jacob with a shot, but straight towards Lefemir. So they just want to keep this in the corner, but NRG starting to consolidate their pressure. Taking those middle boosts, but now Lefemir with his opportunity. Going to go from the ceiling, looks for the setup. That's going to be way too much work for Classics to do though.
Very difficult situation for Lethemir on that one. Just read that angle a little bit tougher. But trying to give himself options by going up on that ceiling, saving that second jump, just difficult to read, as NRG doesn't need any help other than Garrett G. A beautiful flick and bar in.
Exactly what they needed. He had Fireburner over to the left, decided, you know what, I can do this myself. Getting it straight down, perfect placement on the shot.
Not only the placement, but also the flick. To get that little bit extra power, it's actually a lot more difficult than these guys make it look. Using the back end of his car to just apply a little bit more power to it.
Let's have a shot where you're like, I really wish I had my Batmobile back. Because it is a very simple shot to play in the Batmobile. It's harder to not catapult the ball when you're playing Batmobile.
That's also what takes some of the precision from the Batmobile. A lot of people talk about the skill cap of the Batmobile is a little bit higher simply because you do get more power on flicks and stuff, but it's also a lot less forgiving in air dribbles.
Fireburner went for the token aerial. Able to do too much with it. Here comes Garrett. He's passed one play, but Classics over into the corner where he's got Lefemir waiting. 1-2 play. Classics just couldn't quite reach him. And Lefemir has happily put some slight ghosting pressure on Jacob. They're still all tied up coming into the final 90 seconds of this match. Fireburner moves himself forward, but there's going to be yet another long clear. Expect to see more and more of those as we start reaching the tighter end of this game. Garrett and Fireburner both committed, but they get it into the corner over to Jacob, so that will not matter too much. But Zainjaki keeping this chaotic. And speaking of chaotic, Classics clattering into Lefemir. It's going to offer NRG their opportunity to move forward. Might be able to get something out of this, but Garrett does not have an extra flick to go for.
That pass from Garrett was phenomenal as well. Playing that back inside, he realizes he's not going to be able to play it inside far enough with his power. So what does he do? He actually hesitates just a second, gets behind the ball, so when they do contest, the 50-50 still ends up in their favor. Heads up play from Garrett.
Jacob doesn't want to see any more 1v1 plays out of Leftimir, but there's still the two players, Zainjaki and Classics, can come together, almost turning it in for a goal. Leftimir is back, can move forward, can 12, sets up the shot for Classics, who will put that one in.
Setting up the shot, a perfect example. This quick flick, just enough to draw a defender out, and Garrett tries to get the play underneath. Doesn't work out, but it doesn't matter. The follow-up from Classics, this is what we're talking about. Once you have that initial player contest, there needs to be someone to get it, because these guys have gotten so dang good. Like, one play is not going to handle it.
Ghost Gaming are bringing the fight to NRG right now. If they can hold on to this, they will go to series points against NRG. Classics will take this up onto the wall, wasting as much time as possible. It'll take at least 5 seconds for NRG to put this back into the Ghost Gaming half. But more and more of that time is being wasted. Leftimir can push this entire way. Will he finish it? Nope, choosing not to go for the shot, as they have just constricted NRG into their own half to finish this game off. One final opportunity, but every single time there is a challenge there. And Zainjaki,
thank you for the fantasy points.
I think that's pretty much all that goal will be worth in the long run. But it's good to see that that strategy came out from Ghost Gaming, the experience of all the individuals saying, look, if we hold back, we give NRG an opportunity. We press forward, we keep stopping them every time they try and clear. We can waste the clock away and get ourselves the win. That could have been a little bit more dangerous towards the end, but Ghost Gaming completely diffused the situation.
Yeah, for Ghost Gaming to force this NRG team on their back heel, actually put them under surmountable pressure is unbelievable. Obviously, this is their debut coming into the RLCS. We saw them in play-ins, and we had a lot of questions coming in, and that was a question at the beginning of the series. Who's going to help out? And it's actually been both Classics and Zainjaki. They're relieving pressure, they're applying pressure, they're doing things in subtle ways, but Leftimir to me is still the captain. You even see it where he has to force something to happen. He's the one that's going to apply it in the middle. He's the one that's going to keep this pressure on. You saw it even at the end towards that last where he caught across and then played it back in. I would actually like to see Leftimir grab the boost in the corner and just play it up. You only got 5 seconds, kill it, but instead he just keeps it in front of that net, a dangerous position, and forces NRG to, you know, rotate back and try something to keep it out. And they don't. Zainjaki gets another goal.
And could this be the season of player revival? Sad Jr. is playing much better this season. Zainjaki had a season to forget last time. This time around, looking much stronger and now on the verge of taking out the North American champions.
A lot of people forget that Zainjaki was also one of the best performing LAN players in Season 2. His team would take 3 with Rizzo and Insol were both the best team in North America in Season 2. Doesn't make sense in my head and how it happened, but it still happened.
Esports goes very quickly indeed, and one performance one season does not does not mean that you're going to have a great season next season. It's all about performing at the time, and Zainjaki is certainly performing when it matters right now. He's actually going to be required to move forward, but Garrett G gets there before him. NRG will be looking for this opening goal. They try and put away the bad memories of these previous 2 games. Ghost Gaming, that defense has been so solid so far, or has it been? That might go the entire way. 2 players were rotating back, both Zainjaki and Classics. Just playing keep away from the NRG offense, and it has worked so far. Ball up high, here comes Jacob, gonna get there first, does not get contact, but still confusing enough. Fireburner putting that over into a dangerous spot. 2 players have committed, yet again 3 players actually. Ghost Gaming a little bit sloppy on the defensive end so far this game. Just want to get a big clear. Classics did not quite make fantastic contact with that. But it is away, and Ghost Gaming have survived the opening flurry. Now going to try and put something of their own together. Classics with a flick of his own. Okay, whose was better, Leftimir's or Classics?
Classics because of the implication. They're on match point, but a lot of it because of the setup from Zainjaki. 2 contests on that wall, able to keep the ball in, providing that siege that we were talking about, single-handedly just forcing these plays. even with both Fireburner and Jacob trying to clear this ball out, it does not matter. He single-handedly shuts it down and applies the goal, but still, the individual play from Classics, that flick was a thing of beauty.
Classics are part of that Genesis squad that handed NRG a loss last season. Can he do it yet again this season with an entirely new roster? There is going to be a long ball, forcing Jacob with the save. Fireburner can't quite get the control he wants. It's going to force Jacob to move back in. Delayed flick. There comes potential shots, but once again, NRG, their offense looking a little bit toothless at times. And there is another big clear from Ghost. Here comes Classics. He puts that one low. It's actually Lefmir with the credit because Classics did not make contact.
No, but he applied the pressure for him to follow that entire way, get in the way, be a nuisance, and he jumped at it. He just missed the shot altogether, but it doesn't matter. He's forcing this player to shadow him. In situations like that, it's difficult because you as a player need to just rotate back to the net immediately, but he also doesn't want to give Classics a free break.
Cloud9, who are playing up next on stream, have got to be smiling ear to ear that some of their major rivals are having such a tough time in this series. On the verge of defeat, Fireburner gets a double touch. It's going to mean that both Garrett and Jacob, who wanted to move forward, cannot quite do so. Still in the corner. Another long ball, going to open it up for Garrett, who can move forward. Extra contact made by Zanejaki, but he's basically resetted it for Fireburner, who was giving it straight back up to that defense. I feel like there might have been a half volley available. Ghost Gaming heading into the final half of this game with only a 1-goal lead.
Despite all these missed touches from NRG, you see two players going right over it. Fireburner making the play count. He gets up and just puts a beauty of a touch across the net. Catching Zanejaki off guard. Nice and soft. Difficult to read. They're back within one. 2:16 left. They're on match point. They need to tie this up quick and start gaining some momentum in their favor.
Lefmir caught between two different minds. There is a big miss. There is going to be the setup. Almost turned in. Big save. Ghost Gaming almost handing away their 2-goal lead within a matter of seconds, but they've held on. Final 120 seconds. Garrett puts that one off the top of the net. Here comes an extra shot, and the demo, yet again, being physical is working out for NRG.
Both in two ways. Garrett gets up early, wins at 50-50, doesn't stop there. Immediately goes for the goal. He gets the demo in the wide open net. He just gets to watch it playfully go into the net. Back all tied up. All it took was 20 seconds.
And considering how little distance Garrett moved between landing and the demo, he has got to have landed almost perfectly there.
The recovery was spot on. You can't disagree about that.
So we are now all tied up. NRG looking to try and force a game 5. It's Lefmir pushing it into the corner. Fireburner does get bumped by Classics, who will try and turn over. Fireburner gives him the receipt. It's now Jacob with the setup, but Lefmir doesn't want to see any of that.
Jacob is the last man back here.
Does know how to waste time on the ball. Jacob, one of the better ball carriers in NA. Shot here from Classics is going to go up high. Zanejaki with the follow-up. Jacob cannot save it. And Zanejaki, from a very tough angle, does make the shot.
Credit going to this Ghost team and their pressure, just covering every side of the pitch, positioning on point. Doesn't matter where that ball lands. They're the first one to it and apply that pressure. Back up on one. The story of this game, back and forth.
Ghost Gaming reclaiming their lead yet again. Can they hold on to it this time around? So Garrett gets one touch. He can go for the follow-up of Zanejaki. You can tell he does not underestimate Garrett. That is going to be another big bump, and Lefmir with the panic touch keeps it away from an oncoming offense. Zanejaki looking for Classics, who turns it into the side. Lovely 1-2 play.
For someone that looked like they were going to be able to get back in net in time, the heads-up play from Zane to pass it off to his teammate. Just that extra redirect puts on a beauty of a shot. 79 miles per hour. Just cannot get there in time. Passing the ball, always better than shooting.
Ghost Gaming are 56 seconds away from a huge upset in North America, and something that would blow it wide open. Classics and the rest of his squads have done this before. They've managed to waste away the clock. Can they do it yet again? As NRG will begin to scramble for their last fight.
Well, with only 35 seconds left, I want to see Ghost keep up this pressure. I don't want them to fall back. I know they have the lead. The clock management is on their side, but they need to keep applying this pressure, not give anything up for free.
It's going to be a miss there from Garrett. Classics wanted the block, but Fireburner can take it away. As Garrett puts the long ball. There will always be someone on the goal line for Ghost Gaming. There will also be someone always on the goal line looking for a potential demo. Jacob over the top of one play, but Leftmere has him covered. Garrett's contact is not enough to reach it over to Jacob, and Ghost Gaming have defeated NRG.
I can't believe it. We talk about upsets being a huge factor. Playoff implication later down the road, obviously top 6, the ones getting into that regional championship. And for teams like FlyQuest, for Ghost Gaming, these are the games that are going to matter the most, the ones that they take the upsets over. You saw Leftovers able to do it in the European region last season and how it paid off for them. Ghost Gaming really coming out with a statement with their only game of the day.
And a big game later on for NRG as well. They've got to take on Rogue, who've already come in from their own 5-game series where they took the reverse sweep. That will be up later on for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. But for Ghost, their starting game, this will be the only game they play this week. Next week, they've got Allegiance and C9. That is huge for them.
No, it's absolutely crucial. I mean, you're talking about a team that comes in clearly the #1 in North America for a lot of reasons, and they just did not look like themselves. NRG, their positioning was completely off. The follow-up that we're accustomed to seeing just was not there. A lot of it was this individual play style that Gibbs mentioned. Fireburner obviously wasn't going for those dribbles like we saw last week, but it was a one-person play, and then everybody else was either rotating back for boosts or just nowhere to help out.
Well, Classics, he's done it again. He did it last season with Genesis. He does it this season with Ghost Gaming. That is ridiculous. Let's hand it over to Axel Toss and the rest of the boys.
Yeah, and with that, it feels like North America opening wide open right now. One of the conversations we had coming into today, if NRG just does not lose, and it seems like they've been doing very well, they're secured in the top 6. But with that loss, again, league play is wide open now. Let's take a look at the Mobile One High Performance replay. Ghost with an upset over NRG, 3-1. How did this happen, guys?
Wavepunk. We see Ghost Gaming, more like Ghost Pepper Gaming, increasing the spicy level of North America, taking down the champions. Well done for Ghost. This is a huge debut for them, and we're talking about top 2 conversation of World Championship bid without having to worry about playoffs, and this is a huge win for Ghost to try for one of those top 2 spots.
Yep, technically undefeated right now, as Shogun said a few times. This is the only game they've played so far in league play, and the only game they'll play today, so they can sit back and watch for the rest of the day. But their coordination, they were popping off on the offense. I was very impressed with a lot of the shots that they were putting up, and I felt like one of the shining lights on the NRG side of things was the Jacob demo plays. He was getting up and being physical, but they just weren't able to do it enough times. They were committing multiple people back on the goal line. You can see 2 people back there on the goal line. Time and time again, that was a situation for NRG, and it was Ghost here who was just able to punish over and over.
Yeah, that was the main thing I saw from NRG. 2 players on the goal line on a lot of these defensive plays, and Ghost made them pay with 1v1 situations or sometimes passing right on that line of the 18-yard box and then getting those really hard shots that are basically unsavable. And Classics, huge series for him, having 5 goals out of the 10. Played really well. Zane also stepped up. Like both those players, I wasn't sure how they would perform here, and they both stepped up huge here.
Something we look for in RLCS, especially season to season, and we talked about a little bit about this while the game was happening, is how are these rosters looking? How are they changing? Where you typically see the teams that are really good, obviously holding on to their rosters, and you see everyone else trying to change things up to challenge the guys at the top. When it comes to Ghost, this is a team with 3 players, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 players that have not necessarily been on the same team before. And that's a very unique thing. NRG, obviously, they've had their roster for a very long time at this point. So how does this work for Ghost? What's the explanation there? I mean, they seem to play really well, but these are all guys who came from completely different places.
Well, it's still 3 veterans, and I feel like most of these veterans at this point know how to play, and you can plug and play players here and there. Sometimes it doesn't work exactly correctly, Jelen, but Leftmere throughout this whole offseason was swapping players around. He had Jay Wiz on his team for a little while. He really wanted to find that connection. He seemed like he has it with this team. And honestly, 2 to 2.5 months is a pretty long time for a team. So they had a lot of time in the offseason to perform in these tournaments, and they've done pretty well in them. We just weren't sure how they would show up here, and honestly, this is a huge step.
Yeah, and with Season 4, the roster swap mania thing is generally not going to be as big of an issue because the teams want to keep their spot in league play. So Ghost has got to be breathing a sigh of relief. Like, there are teams working here. We're beating the best in North America. We can feel comfortable sticking together moving forward.
Huge match for Ghost. They're undefeated, and they can just sit back and relax. A great series from them, taking out NRG. NRG is going to be playing a little bit later, but let's keep the broadcast going. We're going to take a short break here. When we come back, we have Cloud9 entering the pitch. It's Cloud9 going up against Allegiance, who used to be Emotion. It's going to be another best of 5 as our coverage of North American League play for RLCS Season 4 continues. We'll be right back.